Fellow compatriots, fellow compatriots, dear compatriots, fellow compatriots, supporters of the Iranian resistance, salute to all of you and your firm determination for freedom. Salutes to the resistant prisoners throughout Iran. Salutes to the heroic Mujahedin PMOI members at Atraf 3. Fellow compatriots, 60 years have passed. 60 years since the day the People's Mujahideen Organization of Iran was founded. 14 years under the Shah's dictatorship and 46 years under the religious dictatorship. 60 years without a single day or even an hour of pause. In very difficult circumstances, it may be hard to believe, but it is the absolute truth. That's why today the PMOI lights 60 shining flames, flames that can never be extinguished. Yes, this is the generation of the hundreds of thousands, the generation of the countless who proudly passed through the torture chambers, the firing squads and the gallows. From the first martyr, Ahmad Rezai, to the most recent martyrs, Behruz Ehsani and Mehdi Hassani, whose 40th day of martyrdom was marked yesterday. And the added executed political prisoner Mehran Bahramian, who joined the ranks of the martyrs. Salutes to all the martyrs. Honoring the 60th year, for, as Maryam Rajavi put it, for loyalty to the pledge and boundless sacrifice in the struggle for the freedom of the Iranian people against the gravest conspiracies, for the union of politics with honor, for breaking the deadlock of the times through Mohammad Hanif Nejad, the founder, for rising up against fundamentalist reactionary Islam, and for rising up against the distortion and perversion of the message of Muhammad, the beloved of God, and Jesus Christ, the Spirit of God. In this way, the Mujahideen cried out to the prison cells, the torture racks, the gallows, and the bullets, "Take us!" But they endured and they prevailed. The Shah fell, and the mullahs will fall as well. But throughout these 60 years, the PMOI rose time and again from its ashes and endured, especially in the face of baseless labels and boundless demonization. And today, the PMOI, within the National Council of Resistance of Iran, has presented the only democratic and independent alternative carrying forward the 120-year struggle of the Iranian people for freedom. Here with us today are Vice President Mike Pence, Professor Alejo Vidal-Quadras, Prime Minister Guy Verhofstadt, the Honorable John Bercow, the Honorable Patrick Kennedy, and other distinguished figures.
معاون سابق رئیس جمهور ایالات متحده
3 years ago, Vice President Pence traveled 5,000 miles from Indiana to Albania to meet the PMOI at Ashraf 3. I want to recall some of his words. Before all the wars and bloodshed in the region, and even before the 2022 uprising in Iran, he said, and I quote, "One of the biggest lies the ruling regime sold to the wider world is that there is no alternative to the status quo. But you all know there is an alternative, well organized, fully prepared, perfectly qualified. The regime in Tehran wants to trick the world into believing that the Iranian protesters want to return to the dictatorship of the Shah as well. But we are not confused by their lies." End of quote. Yes, if the democratic alternative had been recognized at that time, the world would have rid itself of this religious fascism much sooner. There would have been no need for the wars and crises that followed. And if on August 19th, 1953, many years ago, there had not been the dark coup against Dr. Mossadegh, and if the Shah had not been restored to the throne, Khomeini would have never come to power, and the destiny of Iran and the region would have been entirely different. Dear compatriots, regarding the democratic alternative, let me recall that after the establishment of the National Council of Resistance in Tehran, on Massoud's initiative, the NCRI, in its first session in February-March 1982 in Paris, defined specific duties for a 6-month interim government. Its primary task, of course, is to hold free elections, a constituent and national legislative assembly, Elections must be held by all the people of Iran, where the people of Iran will cast their vote through a universal, direct, equal, and secret process. The 10 immediate tasks published at that time are as follows. 1. Freedom for all political prisoners. 2. Disarming and dissolving all reactionary institutions and repressive and censorship bodies, from the Revolutionary Guards and Basij to the Revolutionary Guards. Yes, all of these must be dismantled. From the Shari courts, ideological political bureaus, the so-called Cultural Revolution Council, in educational institutions, to the repressive agencies that suppress the farmers and workers. Restoration of rights to all those who've been unjustly purged, especially government employees, teachers, workers, and retirees. Invitation to all patriotic citizens and specialists, both inside the country and abroad, to return to work. Abolition of all oppression, coercion, and discrimination against women, including the right to choose their occupation, attire, and complete gender equality in social, political, cultural, and economic rights. Autonomy for Iranian Kurdistan within the framework of Iran's territorial integrity. Investigating the crimes of the Khomeini and Shah regimes in public trials with juries, defense lawyers, and international observers. Guaranteeing the right to defense and the right to operate bar associations. Ensuring the independence of universities and their administration under university councils, while formally recognizing the individual and social rights of the people, the same rights enshrined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. As you know, in April 2006, these tasks and commitments were further elevated into a 10-point plan. Fellow compatriots, the value of the PMOI lies in the fact that for 60 years, under the greatest pressures, it has preserved its political and financial independence. It wants nothing for itself. It is not seeking power. It is pursuing freedom and the transfer of sovereignty to the people of Iran, which the regime and our detractors say is the greatest crime of this resistance. 37 years ago, Khomeini issued a fatwa ordering the annihilation of all PMOI members, those who stood firm in their ideals and principles. Today, Khamenei has once again mobilized his courts to issue death sentences against the PMOI members. Regarding the trial of 104 individuals, including myself, accused of rebellion and waging war against God, we say to the mullahs, hold your sham trials every day, not every 2 weeks. Because the PMOI's so-called crimes, the relentless struggle against the mullah's tyranny, are countless. Its crime is this: it said no resolutely to the constitution of Velayat Faqih. down with the principle of ولايت فقیه.
فروشی تحت نام اسلام را افشا کردند.
It exposed the selling of religion under the name of Islam. It unmasked the falsehood behind the slogan of liberating Jerusalem through Karbala. During Khomeini's anti-patriotic war with Iraq, it raised the banner of peace and freedom. It shattered Khomeini's war machine. It exposed the atomic bomb program relentlessly, preventing the ruling religious fascism from obtaining the nuclear bomb. It set up a liberation army and created the resistance units. It rose up against the mullah's patriarchal regime. It raised the banner of complete gender equality. And beyond, it placed women in the most critical leadership positions. Like the pioneering women, who for over 3 decades have led the PMOI. The Secretary Generals of the PMOI, my dear sisters, Fahime Arvani, Shahrzad Sadr, Mahvash Sepehri, Beheshte Shadru, Mojgan Parsai, Sadiq Hosseini, Zohra Akhiani, and now Zahra Merihi with all her qualifications. These heroic women, together with the courageous women in the PMOI Central Council, have created a new role model for society, liberation for women and men alike. That's the key to the progress of tomorrow's society. In 1979, in his first speech after being released from the Shah's prison, Masoud Rajavi declared, "We demand a democratic revolution." Today, we demand the same, nothing less. Yes, we demand the same and nothing less. A democratic revolution, a democratic republic, and democratic rights and freedoms for all. At this point, on behalf of the Iranian people and resistance, I declare the answer to the Iranian crisis is the overthrow of the entire religious tyranny. The people of Iran are more prepared than ever. Iranian society is in a volatile state, and the only solution is the third option, neither appeasement nor war, but regime change by the people and their organized resistance. Let me emphasize to the West, do not delay designating the Revolutionary Guards a terrorist organization any longer. Do not delay enforcing UN Security Council resolutions against the regime's nuclear projects any longer. Do not delay recognizing the right of the resistance units to resist and confront the IRGC any longer. This decisiveness is in the interest of the Iranian people. This decisiveness is an imperative for regional and global peace and security. Giving more time to this regime will once again bring war, and that must never be allowed. Fellow compatriots, fellow compatriots, dear supporters of the Iranian resistance, the time for uprising and rebellion has arrived, and I say to you, wherever you are, if you look within yourselves, you will see a rebel for freedom in the uprisings that are coming, in the protests and rebellions of a people who have had enough, demanding water, electricity, and freedom. Yes, uprising and overthrow are on the way. And I warn the mullahs. I warn the mullahs. Know that the waves of executions will not extinguish the volcano of the Iranian people's revolt. Beware, imprisonment and torture will no longer work. Khamenei, beware, stoking war and destruction or imposing economic suffering on the people of Iran will not save your decaying regime. Yes, uprising and overthrow are on the way. And to you, and to you, the vanguard generation, and you women and youth who pursue freedom, democracy, and equality, I say it is all in your hands and depends on your will. You will ignite the uprising. You will liberate Iran. You will achieve victory and build the future. It can be done, and it must be done.